Here we are back again, and on that issue I just spoke about, here's the Christmas, but where's your safety? Well, to share more on that, we have the AMA's Director of Public Health, Florence Kuchi, joining me in the studio. Florence, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Sure, thank you.
It's always good to have you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So let's delve into the matter from your assembly. I always like to find out what the latest is. What is the latest in terms of the work you do? And logistically, are things getting any better?
Thank you for this. Logistically, let me say, not yet.
Not yet.
Yes, not yet. Yes, we've been talking a lot about these things here. It's almost 2 years now. We are yet to. But AMA in person has put on a lot of measures when it comes to food safety and hygiene. Because one cannot talk about food safety without talking about food hygiene. They work hand in hand, yes. So during this festive period, AMA and the Metro Public Health Department, for that matter, have put in place some key measures to ensure that people who are shopping for their festive period will have safe and then non-contaminated food to enjoy, so that after the festive period, they will still be healthy and come back. What are we doing? We are ensuring that we check for expiring product, that is labeling of food products. This is the season a lot of traders always churn out expired food product into the system, and they intend to say they are doing dongomi. They reduce the prices, people go to buy some of these products, and then at the end of the day, they suffer from buying this product or from consuming this product. So we are in the markets, we are inspecting all shops, we are ensuring that people do not churn out expired products or best before product. Okay. The best before is even a little bit better than the expired product.
I just noted it down to get to it. So give us the breakdown.
Yes. So the best before product, it means after the date, you can consume it, but it is at your own risk.
And it's not as good.
It is not as good as it's supposed to be, or the original should have been. And the expired.
Just to hold it there. For example, if it's biscuits, sometimes you see best before.
Yes.
So it's less crunchy.
It's less crunchy. It breaks quickly, and then the taste also change.
Yeah.
Yes. So you take that at your own risk. But the expired, it means it is no more wholesome.
Yeah.
You cannot consume it. So we are ensuring that we check on all these things. Just from first to now, we are almost having a store full of some of these products that we have seized. And we will be disposing them off after the festive period.
Why not now? I mean, that gives room for some slippages. You never know. This is Ghana, and someone could. Is it not possible for someone to take some and sell it, someone even within the system? Because in the same country, we've seen cocaine and stuff turn into coconte, so you can't be too sure.
Yes, but under my watch and under the officers that I am working with, we are sure of ourselves and we have the trust. Nobody will do it because we are protecting the public. Our key mandate is to protect the public and not to enrich ourselves. And during this period, there are a lot of things that are still going on. You can't go for it today, go and destroy it. Tomorrow you go for it. It is going to be cumbersome. So it's better to add up everything than at the end of the day, you have a data on it before it is being destroyed. So these are some of the things that we are putting in place. And we are also checking food production entities, for instance, chop bars, restaurants, and others, to also educate them on how to select healthy food products during this festive period, how to ensure that handling the food that they are going to prepare for people during this festive period is safe and hygienic. They need to put the environment clean. They need to ensure that personal hygiene is being put in place, check their pest control system, the equipment that they are going to use, and the facilities should be clean as well as the environment.
So quite a lot that you'll be doing in there. As you spoke, you reminded me of this. Yesterday we had a representative from the Christian Relief Services and the FDA here. One of what they are dealing with is, for example, because a lot of our children don't get the minerals, vitamins, and stuff they need from our food, because our staples tend to be one way, if you like. So if these are not getting those supplements from somewhere, it can even lead to cretinism, stunted growth, poor brain development, affecting their IQ. There's nothing you can do about a malformed or improperly developed brain. So take vitamin A deficiency, for example. It's crucial to children, brain development, eyesight, and all of that. There are vegetable oils, among others, that have to be enriched per Ghana's laws with vitamin A. The FDA is finding out that a lot of the time, this is not the case. So you have it on the labeling, but it's not the case, or it is far below what has to be done. Are you going to be collaborating with such entities to ensure that, again, people are consuming the right things, not just it's expired, it's not expired, but getting the quality they deserve?
Yes, collaboration is one of our key mandate that we do at the MMDA's level. Food and Drug Authority is one of our main collaborators, because when you talk about food safety, they brings in the standards. But when you talk about food hygiene, we also ensure the hygiene aspect. So you cannot do food safety without a hygiene aspect. Neither can you do food hygiene without food safety. So Food and Drug Authority is our main collaborator when it comes to food safety and hygiene. We move to market areas to ensure that people who are even bringing in adulterated palm nuts are being confiscated and taken out of the market. Actions have been taken, people have been taken to court. So we are with Food and Drug Authority throughout. Yes, because we are their eyes at the MMDA's level.
Okay.
Yes.
Beyond that, the GSA, others, do you collaborate with them too?
Yes, collaboration. We have almost, let me say, all the interministerial agencies in the country, we all collaborate. There's always an aspect when it's time for this, you collaborate with this entity. When it's time for this, you collaborate with this entity. EPA, we collaborate with them. We collaborate with Ministry of Health. We collaborate with Tourism. We collaborate with almost all the ministry and agencies and departments in the country. So collaboration is one of the main work that we do. And when you even come to our annual action plans, we have plans for collaborators that we work with them and come out with results. We do training. Some also organize training for us as well, as and when the need arises.
I see. Which means that with the security services, you also work hand in glove with them.
Yes,
the Ghana Police Service.
When
you go out there,
sure,
people are not doing the right thing, you clamp down on them immediately,
sure,
not just with your task force,
yes,
but with the police service.
Sometimes we even request for the police service to even go out with us, especially when we are going to hard to reach areas that people are so difficult that we cannot go there alone. We mostly fall on the Ghana Police Service, and they are always ready to work with us. As for the collaboration, agencies are always ready to collaborate, and I think it's a very good thing that we are doing in Ghana. Yes.
So in terms of sanitation as well, we've had the Clean Ghana campaign. It's been doing so well. You've even extended it to other regions and all of that. How is that faring, and what can we expect during the season?
Clean Ghana campaign has come to help not only Greater Accra, not only Accra Metropolitan Assembly, but the whole country. And Clean Ghana campaign has brought a lot of changes in people's homes, in people's working areas, and even people's personality. We did an assessment throughout the country. We just didn't do it only in Accra. And we realized that about 84% of the people we reach out said they have seen a lot of changes in the way they do things. For instance, sometimes when they are even going to purchase food products, they don't care about where the food is being sold or who is preparing the food. But due to Joy Clean Ghana campaign, they have come to realize that they need to check all these things. They are very important. Yes, some facilities are there that through Joy Clean Ghana campaign, they were closed down and actions were taken. Those people have come back, they have revamped, and now their business is even booming than it used to be. And all of them come back with their feedback to tell us that, yes, at first they thought we were enemies, but little did they know that we were really trying to ensure that they do the right thing. So Join Clean Ghana campaign has come to stay. We did the last one on 6 of this month. That was our last Red Clean Ghana campaign in the year. And then next year, we are going to continue. We are hoping that next year we'll broaden the horizon. It is not going to be only English, but we may add up some other local languages that people are yearning to hear, because during the assessment, it was one of the things that also came out, that they will want us not to only do it in English, but in other languages that they can also hear, because it is not just for only the elite, it is for everybody. Yeah.
So in terms of, there's a specific thing I'll get to shortly, but in terms of not just the campaign, in terms of going round, doing your rounds, people who cook, chop bars, restaurants, other eateries during this period, what are the checks going to be like? For example, I know that, and from time to time you will see this, indeed, even in other parts of the world and in some of the most established restaurants, once in a while you may see some vermin, maybe a mouse or something. But in some of these places, it's pretty commonplace. Cockroaches. Sometimes you go somewhere, you're buying something, and there's a cockroach also dancing agbaja in the background. Cockroaches, mice, and all other kinds of vermin. How are you going to address the situation? Because during this time, people will go out there, eat, drink. How do we protect them?
Yeah, thank you. When you talk of food hygiene, pest control is a measure in food hygiene. And we don't just take it lightly. We see to it that every food production industry or food preparing base should ensure that every 3 months they do disinfection and disinfestation. When we talk of disinfection, we are talking about microorganisms that we cannot see with our naked eye. They need to disinfect, which people use to say fumigation. Then you have to disinfect the place. That is pesticides. You use pesticides to disinfect the place so that you kill rodents, cockroaches, and others. Because we know that cockroaches are one of the causative organisms, even for typhoid fever.
Yeah.
Because where they live in the sewers and other places, and in the night they find their ways into our kitchen.
The mice as well.
The mice as well.
And their urine can even be toxic.
That is it. So that is why sanitation and hygiene is very key when it comes to areas that we prepare food, the restaurants, the chop bars, and all other places. So education is ongoing. We are moving from facility to facility, educating them. And then even last week, we had a training for a set of food vendors on how to handle their food products during this festive period, so that people will not have any infections or experience any foodborne diseases. We are training them on not how to select the food, as I mentioned earlier on, how to separate raw food from cooked food. Sometimes you may have healthy food product, but if the handling is not done properly, at the end of the day, you get the food contaminated. So we are taking them through all these things.
I'll say this from experience. If you're going to be taking any nkatenkwine, groundnut soup, ensure it's been properly cooked and all of that. Yeah. Was it about 1.5 years, 2 years ago? Someone nearly killed me, literally. Because I could tell, because it was the only meal I had that day. And the reaction was almost immediate. Once I have a very sensitive system. Once I took the food, I realized that something was off with it. And what it did to me was just crazy. So especially if you're going to be taking that, ensure the food is properly cooked. And another thing I found out, Florence, some of these eateries, because of the cost of gas nowadays, so they are cooking the food, but they want it to be done very quickly, and they may not cook it to a certain point because gas is expensive, and not knowing that they are
yes,
causing health hazards.
So that is why the education is also a problem that is a key when it comes to food safety and hygiene. According to a report by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the World Bank Organization, they said one person in each 40 persons experience foodborne disease, some form of foodborne disease. And annually in Ghana, about 420,000 people report to the hospital through foodborne disease.
Wow.
Yes. And out of the 420,000 people that report, about 62,000 people die through some form of foodborne disease a year in Ghana.
In Ghana alone?
In Ghana alone, yes.
62,000?
Yes, in Ghana.
Foodborne diseases.
According to the report by Ministry of Food and Agriculture and then the World Bank.
That means E. coli and the rest.
And then when you come to economical loss that the government incur through these things, it's about $6 million plus that people, the government incur through foodborne illnesses. So it's really a very key thing that we need to be talking about. Because we don't see some of these things, it is not everybody that report, we think that it is not there. It is there, and it is killing people. So if every day 1 person out of 40 a day, you can imagine what is happening.
So I just did some interesting mathematics. Yes. I like to play with figures.
Yeah.
We are spending over $6 million.
Yes. Yes.
And we are losing about 62,000 people.
Yes.
In terms of the money we spend in dealing with their situation.
Yes.
Guess what? If you divide 6 million by 62,000, you get $96.77.
Yes.
That is $97, which means that because we don't take care of matters, we spend about $100
yes.
on every person who gets food poisoning,
yes.
who has to get treatment.
Yes.
And that is the cost.
And that is the cost
to our economy.
To our economy. So food safety and hygiene is really a very key issue that we need to take it seriously. Yes.
Now, what happens to those who, and I want you to make it very clear, those who fall foul of the law in terms of the sanitation and all of that, not cooking in the right places. Some are even cooking without the right permits.
Yes.
They are not registered and all of that. During the season, what if you find such people, what happens to them?
In fact, during season, we have tightening the link with the legal centers, that is our court system. Gone were the days when we get you, we take you through a lot of processes. Now, when we arrest you, we are sending you to court the following day. That is, if court is not sitting as at the time we get you. And if you are not going to go to court, we also have what we call the cost of abatement. We make you to pay a spot fine, then you sign an undertaking. We give
so like a bond?
Yes, please. We give you a copy, then we keep a copy. Tomorrow when we come for you again and then we find that you have been here to sign an undertaking and you have repeated it, we see to be a deliberate thing. That one, you yourself will find your own judgment for yourself. We will not force you.
What happens then? Are they ever allowed to continue with the work? Is there a penalty? What is it?
Yes. So when we get you, the place is closed down. You are being processed for court. That is it. So when you go to court will ask you to go and do the right thing. Then the officer in charge, that is the investigating officer in charge, will go and take pictures of the place, send it back to court before any other judgment will be made. If you are not going to go to court and then the assembly is going to handle it, maybe due to, number of cases going to court because of the costs are not enough, sanitation costs are not enough, you pay a cost of abatement. And that cost of abatement is not less than 300 Ghana cedis. It is not. So if you've not planned, we've all seen how the economic is these days. If you have to part with 300 Ghana cedis because you did not plan, how much is your capital? Then you have to sign a bond. And we stop you from preparing the food and ensure that the place is being kept clean. Whatever we want you to do, you do all of it before we can then ask you to do. Because, mind you, it is the environmental health officer and then the police who has the right to get you without a warrant to do the right thing. Yes.
And I think I've always been for non-custodial sentences, especially because our prisons are teeming with bodies.
Sure.
Our prisons are full. Sometimes it makes no real, I don't want to use that word, to keep sending people there, and then disease outbreaks and all the other things that happen in that setting. And even feeding them, the state is not able to do well in terms of feeding them. But at the same time, I think for such people, there should be custodial sentences, not just the penalty units and the fines. Why? Because like with me, God forbid, if I had died, what has that person done?
Yes.
That person has, whether you want to call it manslaughter or murder, that person has blood on his or her hands, and that person is free. That person doesn't even know of the consequence of not properly cooking the food or not properly dealing with the food so that toxins are... Because you see, groundnuts, when you have the paste and all of that, it can easily get contaminated.
Yes.
Handling it is very tricky. You must be very careful. And cooking the thing itself, you must cook it at a certain temperature for a certain period of time. If you fail to do that, you are basically a murderer.
Yes.
And I feel we should be stiffer on such things so that people stop
So that is why sanitation cases, you find sanitation, environmental health and sanitation cases in the Criminal Offences Act. Yes, because through your malhandling of something can lead to the death of somebody. So it is criminal offense to sell an unwholesome food to somebody. It is criminal offense to adulterate food. For instance, if you are selling groundnut paste, then you decided to adulterate it with something for it to increase in volume and size for you to sell, and somebody goes to take it and fall sick and die. If you are caught, you will be sentenced. There are times we send environmental and sanitation causes to court, and people are being sent to prison for not less than 3 months. It happens.
Right.
Yes.
And I feel those should be enforced more. It also reminds me when Kofi Essel of the FDA was here yesterday. One of I believe he's one of their directors. I could get his. The mention was made of the fact that, there's tomato paste and tomato mix.
Yes.
There's a difference. The paste comes with more tomato content. Per law, there's a certain component that must go in. For the tomato mixes, those are the ones you usually see in the sachets, and they have a lower content. Some people will go label something as tomato paste in the can or wherever, yet it is tomato mix. Do you get it? All of those, and we need to keep an eye on them because people are fleecing others and they're selling it at the same cost or the same price.
Yes, so that is why the FDA ensures that before you send any food product, be it canned or bottled, it must pass through them for them to check on the hazard analysis content, the contamination content, and the food that is inside the can or the bottle. They have to change the content and ensure that everything is there at their right proportions. Yes.
So now, to conclude the conversation, I'm just trying to ensure that I find... okay, I'll get that later. In conclusion, what can we expect this Christmas? How safe is our system going to be sanitation-wise and otherwise throughout this period so that all of us can rest assured that we're going to be healthy and safe and get value for our money?
So this Christmas, what we are saying is food safety or food hygiene is a collective effort. It's not a one-man business. Everybody needs to play their part very well. If you are a trader, if you're a business personnel, your products are getting expired or they are expired, please don't churn them out to the women out there. Some women are there, the things they go to take and come and sell don't go me. They don't know. They just go there because it's cheap and they buy it to come and sell to make a living. Don't send it out. You can report to the FDA or you report to any MMDA where you are operating your businesses. We are always there to assist you to do the distraction, to ensure that we does it in an environmental manner that will not also have an adverse effect. We are also telling people that they should ensure that the environment where they prepare food is safe. For instance, our big restaurants, this is the time that there are going to be a lot of queues to buy food and other things. They should ensure that they don't mix cooked food with raw food. When they are going to preserve food products that they are not able to use, or when you open a tin product, please don't preserve it with the tin in the fridge. Put it in a preservation bowl and then throw the can away. Don't, when you go to buy things in the market and the container is dented, that is when it's a part of it is not, all is not straight. Please don't.
What they will say, apone. Please
don't buy those things because there can be a direct contact with the raw metal and the food product, and it can lead to food poisoning. So we need to put all these things in checks as we go to do our Christmas shopping.
Right. Kofi Essel, I just wanted to get his proper designation. He's the Director of Industrial Support Services at the FDA. He joined us yesterday for that conversation. Thank you so much, Florence, for joining us today.
Thank you, Uncle Ben.
It's always educative having these conversations.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the very best. As for the logistics...
Yes. It will come at the right time.
We'll keep praying.
It will come at the right time.
We'll keep praying.
They are working on it. We know they are working on it.
So... That is the AMA's Director of Public Health, Florence Kuchi. We'll be right back with a lot more on the AM show, even as we talk about the prostate and keeping it safe as well. We'll be back.